if you need a loan, a soft loan to buy something as small as a phone or a laptop or even something as big as a whole house, you need to have your credit history sorted. You need to have a good credit score. Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. I know you guys have missed me. I'm just going to assume that you all have missed me. Well, I've missed each and every one of you too, but I've just been trying to stay consistent and just keep your fingers crossed for me, okay? If you're seeing my beautiful face for the first time, my name is Atineke, and on this channel I share tips and tricks about being an adult, being a mom, being an immigrant, being a nurse, anything I think will be helpful to someone out there, I share on my channel. So welcome, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, okay? For my returning subscribers, you guys are the OG. Thank you for always engaging with my content, as a content creator. Thank you for always dropping your comments, for always checking on me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, so let's get on to today's topic. Today we'll be talking about credit score, credit history, whatever you call it. That's what we'll be talking about today. Now, why is having a good credit score important, or why is your credit history important? Now, in most developed countries, before you can get a loan, now what you would have heard about it, that when you're like in the UK or US or any developed country, you can buy a phone or buy a laptop or even like buy a house, and you don't have to pay everything up front. Sometimes you don't even have to have like a dime. You can just get the phone, and then every month you pay bit by bit. Now, this is where your credit score come in play. You don't just get this without having a credit check done. And when they say they're going to run a credit check to be able to give you a loan to buy these things, it means they're checking your credit history. So that is what we'll be talking about today, guys. So if you need a loan, a soft loan to buy something as small as a phone or a laptop or even something as big as a whole house, you need to have your credit history sorted. You need to have a good credit score, and that is what I'm going to be deep diving into today. So I'm always hooking you guys up with the best information, so just enjoy this and don't forget to engage with it, okay? All right, so let's start. Now let's talk about what a credit history means. Now, a credit history is a record of your credit activity. It shows how you pay your bills, how you spend your money, what credit cards do you have, how do you use it and all. It's just a digital record of all your activities when it comes to spending your money. A lender wants to see that you're sensible when it comes to borrowing money, and also how you pay your bills and how you sort out money generally. Your credit history is a collation of all your activities over the months or over the years. Now, this is very important because when a lender wants to give you money, they check your credit score and they want to see if you actually borrow sensibly. Now, what I mean by this is, I know some people will say, oh yeah, I have a credit card, but I don't want to use it because I just want to pay off my debt. And no, so a lender actually wants to see if you actually borrow and then you pay back. If you borrow and you pay back. Also, they want to see how sensible you are with it. Are you borrowing so much and you're not able to pay back completely, or things like that. Now, I will dive into that in a bit, but then I'm just trying to explain generally what the credit history or what the credit score means. So, why do you need a credit history in the first place? Now, if you need a loan, if you need like a soft loan to buy maybe like a phone or a laptop, or even a big loan to buy like a house, you need a credit history. You need a good credit score. And that is why people strive to build good credit scores in developed countries. Now, I'm going to dive into how exactly you need to do it, because the thing is, most people think, oh yeah, I don't have a credit card yet, they're not going to give me one if I don't have a good credit score, so how do I start? Well, that is why you guys have me. So I'm going to give you like the step-by-step process of building a very good credit score, so you can get those soft loans to be able to do the bits that you want to do. Now, the first step to building a good credit score is have a bank account. I know it sounds like just simple and straightforward, but it is one of the most important steps. Have one bank account and stick with that. Now, if you have, let's say you open an account with, let's say, Lloyd's Bank, have Lloyd's Bank and stick with that. Don't start jumping around to like different banks. I know nowadays they do this thing where they ask you to switch your bank account and get like £150 or £200. In the short run, it might seem like, oh yeah, I'm getting extra money, but then in the long run, it's not so great for your credit score, because you being able to stick with one bank for like 3, 4, 5 years shows that you're quite responsible. You have all your bills in one place, and you're not just like jumping around in different accounts. So it just shows financial responsibility in a way. So have one bank account and stick with the bank account. So that's the first step in building a good credit score. The second step is register on the electoral roll. Now, what does this mean? In most countries, like what's it called? You're free to vote independently. Now, the way it works in the UK is before you can vote, you have to be registered on the electoral roll. It is quite simple. You just need to go to gov.uk to register. I'll put the link in the description box for you to be able to register on the electoral roll if you've not done that. So if you're in the UK, if you're a resident in the UK, make sure you register on the electoral roll. Now, I need to clarify that all those things I'm saying are for people that are residents in the UK. It's not for like visitors. So I'm assuming everyone understands that. So okay. So make sure you register on the electoral roll. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description box. When you register on the electoral roll, it just shows the lender that you actually reside in the UK, you're responsible, you vote. It's just one of the ways to show that you're like rooted. I don't know if I'm explaining that quite well. That okay, you're a resident, you vote, you know, you perform like your civic responsibilities and all that. And then it also shows like where you live, because on the electoral roll you register in like your borough, so it shows where you live, that you're actually like a resident of this particular borough. So it's very important for you. So if you've not done that, please go and register on the electoral roll. And it also means that when the time comes to vote, you can also partake in voting, because your visa, even though you're on like a tier 2 visa or whatever, you're still allowed to vote once you're registered on the electoral roll. And the plus side is that it's good for your credit score. So register on the electoral roll today. So that's number 2. Now the third step is set up direct debits. Now, we all know in this country it is bills and lots of bills. You pay for electricity, gas, water, broadband, council tax, just a lot of bills to pay. Now, the best thing to do for all your bills, and most times all these companies would actually ask you the same, that you want to set up a direct debit to pay for all your bills. Now, direct debit simply means set up a monthly payments plan to pay off your bills. So every month, maybe if you agree that okay, we want them to take out this money on the 1st of the month or on the 30th, they would take out the appropriate amount. If it's like £20 per month, they will take out £20 per month. So make sure you set a direct debit for all your bills. So for electricity, for water, for gas, for broadband, set up direct debit. And very important, it's not just about setting up a direct debit. Try not to default. I know this is easier said than done, because these days, like with the whole increase in electricity bill, increase in this and that, cost of living, it is very tough. It's very tough on so many people. But try as much as possible not to default on your bill, because when you default on your bills, it counts, it shows on your credit history. So it's like a negative. So the way it works is like you have a positive. When you do some actions like opening a bank account, like I said, or being on the electoral roll, is like a positive on your credit score. But when you default on your bill, or you spend recklessly, it's a negative on your credit score. So try and set up debits, direct debit for all your bills, and try not to default. So every month, make sure that you have the appropriate amount to have in your account, so that when they take it out of your account, then you know that you're done for that month, bills wise. And the good thing to do about that is, if you won't be having that much, try and apply for overdraft. Now, applying for overdraft, you might not be able to do that immediately you get into the UK. It might take a couple of months, but try and apply for overdraft, so that when they get there to try and take out the bill, even if you don't have like enough cash, they can dig into your overdraft. Now, the trap with having overdraft is also the same as having credit card you need to pay. I'll get to that in a bit, but let's just stick to direct debit for now. So set up direct debit and try not to default. So that's the third step in having a good credit score. Now, the fourth step is having a form of credit. Like when I mean a form of credit, like having something like an overdraft or a credit card. Now, this is like a slippery slope. You should have a credit card, and that's why like sometimes this country can just be funny. You're encouraged to have a credit card and overdraft because it helps to improve your credit score, but don't apply for too much credit. Now, don't go applying for like 4 credit cards or 5 credit cards. That is a lot, because it feels like you're desperate. So the lenders, because this thing, like I said, it's just like it's a digital record, so they can see everything. So if you're applying for the first one and you max it out, you max out the credit card, you spend everything on it, do the second one, third one, they think you're desperate, you're not so good with money, they don't want to borrow you money. That if we borrow you money, you're going to do the same with your loan, max it out and not pay us back. So apply for credit card, but don't apply for too much credit. So the best thing to do is, okay, you're new, you already have your Or even if you're not new, you already have your bank account, you can apply to your bank for a credit card, or go online, go on sites like what's it called, Compare the Market, or Experian, or so many sites that you can use, and find a good credit card with a low APR. What I mean by APR, I think, is annual percentage rates. It means you know, the interest they charge you on whatever you spend. So try and get a good one, and just, you know, start using the credit card. Now I would explain how to use your credit card sensibly in a bit, but the fourth step is get a credit card or apply for overdraft. Overdraft is also a good one. Overdraft simply means, let's say you apply for like £500 overdraft. It means that even when you don't have any amount in your bank account, if you have £0 in your bank account, you have 500 overdraft, so that if you need to do something else, you can dig into your overdraft. It's like spare money that is not for you, it's for the bank, but it sits in your account and you can use when you need it. So apply for that and spend it wisely. Like I said, I'll talk about spending them wisely in a bit. So that is a good step to have a good credit score. Now, another important thing, which, let's say that's the fifth step, is how you spend your overdraft and how you spend your credit card. Like I said earlier, it's a slippery slope. If you're not careful, you will think, oh yeah, I have credit, so I have overdraft. You will spend too much and you'll run in debt, and that will be a negative on your credit score. So if you have a credit card or you have an overdraft, make it a rule of thumb not to spend more than 25% of your total balance at a time. So let's say you have a credit card and it says, okay, the maximum you can spend on this credit card is 2,000. They'll tell you like, okay, you have 2,000 on this credit card, or you have like £500 on this overdraft. So if you have 2,000 on your credit card, make sure you don't spend up to 25% of it. So don't spend more than £500 off that credit card of £2,000 at a time. And when you do that, because they give you like a monthly payment plan, so at the end of the month you should pay like a minimum amount. Try to pay way more than the minimum amount. So let's say the minimum amount you're allowed to pay, you're supposed to pay, is about £25, and you've already spent like £400. Try to pay at least £300 to £350, or if you can, pay everything off. So the sensible borrowing that the lender wants to say is that you borrow money from your credit card or overdraft and you pay back. You borrow and you pay back. Now, there's no sense in getting a credit card and not using it at all. I'm thinking, well, I got the credit card, that's done. No. If you get the credit card, use it. Let's say you want to do your monthly shopping. You already know you have the money for that in your account, but use your credit card to shop for like £200 or so, and then after a couple of days or so, pay that off. So you're using it and you're paying it back. You're using it and you're paying it. That is sensible borrowing. It will boost your credit score very, very fast and very, very good. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful, because I've seen so many cases where people would borrow the first one and then borrow the second, and because, you know, the funny thing, they would keep borrowing you. They'll keep giving you the credit card, they'll keep borrowing you money, and you would end up in a lot of debt. So you have to be very, very careful. Borrow sensibly and spend sensibly. Just make sure you borrow and make sure you pay back. Now, anytime you want to get a credit card, make sure that you look for something that has a low APR. So you see, they'll say 62% APR, 20 something percent. 62% APR is too much, guys. Okay, make sure you look for low. There are credit cards that will give you as low as 10% APR, 12%. It used to be very low, like 5%, 9% APR, but because of the old financial wahala that is going on in the UK now, APRs have increased a bit. But at least just find something below at least 20% APR, because it literally means that whatever they borrow you, let me just tell you what it means straight up. APR means that if they borrow you like £1,000 and it has 20% APR on it, you're going to pay 20% of that £1,000 if you use the £1,000. So if you use £500 out of it, you pay 20% back as interest. So exactly, so imagine if you have 60% APR, you'll be paying that much as interest. So be careful when you're trying to do that. Okay. So all the steps that I've highlighted will help you build a very good credit score. And once you follow them diligently, most times I think it takes about, because if you're new to the UK, it takes about 3 to 6 months before you have an active account and it starts, you know, building your history for you. So you'll notice that if you come to the UK and maybe like the following month you decide, oh yeah, I want to buy a phone or a laptop, they might refuse you, because they would say you don't have a credit score, you don't have a good credit score. So it takes a while to build. It takes about 3 to 6 months, but once you're diligent and you follow all the steps, you're able to quickly build a good credit score, and you're able to apply for this soft loan, which will make your life way easier. Like you need a laptop urgently and you can't pay cash for it. You're just going to go to the store, tell them you want to buy it on you know, a payment plan, or you just go online. It's very easy. Go online and you just buy anything you want to buy, and then you pay every month, which makes your life so much easier. It will also be very, very helpful when you need a mortgage to buy a house. If you that one is actually quite technical, so you need to have built your credit score up for about like 2 years or so that once you've built your credit score, when they want to apply for mortgage, they will do like a proper ad search. So when they do the ad search, they'll decide if you have a good credit score or not. Now, how do you monitor your credit score? There are so many sites. They have so many credit reporting agencies. I know the three popular ones are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, but they have so many types. Sometimes your bank app would also have like a credit score monitoring stuff that you can use. There are so many you can use. I know there's Credit Karma, there's Clear Score, there's Experian. I'm not sponsored by any one of them, so just choose whichever one you want to choose, and just make sure that you keep an eye. So that way you register all your details and everything, and somehow they just grab all your history. I don't know where they get them from. They just grab all your history, and that way every month you can see if you're doing well or not. They'll tell you, okay, so it's like a score out of, sometimes it's out of 999, sometimes it's out of 900 or out of 700, depending on the one you're using. But they'll tell you, okay, you're 500 out of 700. They'll tell you like people in your area have a credit score of this and that, but this is your own credit score. You're doing fair, you're doing good, you're doing excellent. So just keep on use that to just monitor your progress, and that way you know how you're doing. So I have a couple of them. I think I use about 2 or 3, and it just helps me monitor my credit score. So, and I think it's monthly. They send you a report monthly. There are some that you have to pay for and you get like quite daily or weekly, but I don't think that's necessary. Just get the monthly one. So every month you see how you're doing. If you've gone down the scale, you say minus 10% or minus 10 or minus 12, and they'll tell you what you did wrong. So it's why you have to be careful. Don't go around searching for so many credit cards, because they'll keep doing ad search on your reports, and it will just keep drowning your credit score. Okay, so it's just little tips that tips that I think will be helpful. I know this will be helpful to people that have just relocated to the UK, or people that are actually already in the UK but they don't have an idea how to start building their credit score. They're thinking, oh, I want to buy a house, or I need something and I want to just do a payment plan, or I just need a soft loan of like 10k 20k for something, which you can get if you have a good credit score. So if you need a good credit score, follow all the steps, and I'm sure it will be useful to you. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I just said, let me do I know I keep saying short video, and my videos are never short. I do tend to talk a lot, so I said let me do a quick video, to help pass this message across to anyone that would find it useful. So that's all for today. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post very, very helpful tips and tricks for anything that you can think of. I post on my channel. Okay, so don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends that you think would find it helpful. And if you have any questions about anything I've said today, don't forget to drop your comments in the comment box. Okay, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.